What is pussy poppin', you beautiful humans? My name is Ariane Andrew.
My name's Matt Dillon, and welcome to another piping hot episode of Sippin' the Tea Quarantine, where we sip some wine, and now guess what?
Spill that or
Wine! Yes! Who you got with you, girl?
I have little Glitty over here. Who you got?
Yeah, Mama, she just took a sip of the red, so she's going in the naughty corner. Ladies and gentlemen, Ariane and I were thinking about the concept of we're all at home. Are we drinking more? What are people like? How are they staying active? How are they not over drinking? So we have the perfect guest. Wine for Foods, Carole Mack is in the building, in the box. Cheers! Welcome.
Thank you. Cheers to you. I am so thrilled to be here. I can't even tell you. Woo!
Yes. So, girl, let's kick it off. Quarantine. How are you surviving? What have been some takeaways, positive takeaways, especially in a time right now where there's so much uncertainty? So, walk us through your quarantine and what the experience has been like for you.
And you're in New York as well. So that's.
So I'm in the epicenter, which is totally nuts and crazy. And there's just lots of news and everything, as you all know. So what I do is I shut off my news and I start my day with a little meditation. And I do love a little yoga. And those things have really sort of helped me keep my balance. And then just Zooming with friends, having like experiences at home with cooking and wine, and making sure I Zoom with my family so that I kind of keep connection going. Self-massage. Guys, I'm getting good at it.
I was like, that sounds a little wrong, girl, but okay.
Well, you never know. Actually, that's a really good tip.
Okay, well, I just took that note down, self-massage. Okay. Well,
right. For the people who can't see, it actually does feel kind of good, though.
Oh, and I'm getting a self-cleansing bath from Mama right now, so I'm living my best life. So I wanna tap into the digital series which you released on the cusp of COVID-19, and it's called Some School Insiders. So take us back to where your fascination of wine and the art of, because there's such an art behind it. So take us through. I mean, even tell us what the hell's a somm? Get with it.
Get with it, people. So a somm is an expert of wine, and usually they work at restaurants and sort of help buy the wine for the restaurants and guide the customers. Hopefully you guys can hear me in New York.
Yes, New York. I hear you in New York.
Right?
Yeah, we're all here. And it guides the customers basically to the wine they love. That's the main job of a somm. So for us, wine lovers, we can always rely on somms to help us find new and exciting wines in a restaurant, which is really fun. And then really my love of wine. So I've been a food lover my whole life, like making creme caramel for my parents when I'm 8 and their friends coming over and stuff, just cooking, love food. And then I learned that like wine is actually just as nuanced and interesting, and it helps you create like a flavor mastery even more than food. And it's the perfect accompaniment, obviously. So I just fell in love with wine. And then I had this show called Follow That Somm, following sommeliers. And I learned that their flavor mastery was like ridiculous. And so I just thought, I've got to learn how to do that. Like, how do you smell a glass and like taste berry, peach, pepper? Like, how do you do that? So I just had to try.
Wow.
So that's amazing, because most of us just like sip that tea and just like drink it, right?
Most of us, that's true. Most of us just will like say, oh, I like a white wine or I like a red wine. So it's very interesting to kind of hear like how the story behind it. So quick question for you, because we are in quarantine. I feel like this is a time where people are probably like overindulging and doing too much. So like, what would be your advice out there for people who, because the struggle is a little real right now, who are maybe overindulging a little bit?
Yeah, the struggle is real, and I'm right there with you all. Like, there's no judgment on anyone. Sometimes comfort comes in the form of food and wine. But I think my advice would be to look inward. That's the other thing I've been doing right now. Really kind of like ask your body. And if your body kind of tells you like, you done it too much, listen. And the other thing that I do is I sort of before it gets to that point, I decide what I want to do. So I'll be like, all right, this is a 2-drink night only. And I just will set that plan and then stick to it, which is one sort of theme. So like, look inside, make a plan, and try to stick to it. That's my best advice.
I think that's really dope. I like being able to say it's a true wine night, it's a this night, because I feel we're in such a time of emotion as well, that emotions play such a factor in that spiral out effect of like, you know, and we've all had that moment and the moments where we overindulge and you then take away from, you know, I guess what wine really is about and what you know, the beautifulness of what it can be and what it should be. So speaking of that, are you able to like give some light on have you seen like a spike in sales? Is there something that you've seen that you're like, whoa, everybody getting lit on a regular?
That's so funny. You know, it's interesting. For wine stores, there has been a spike. But for restaurant wine sales, so like wine within restaurants, obviously with all the restaurants shutting down, it's so sad, especially in New York City, everywhere actually. There's been a huge decrease. So I work for a wine importer and their sales have been like 50% cut down because of the lack of restaurant buying of their wine, even though they're delivering and many restaurants are still serving. But wine stores, however, are going up. So wine drinking, I think overall is going up. It's just where the drinks come from.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone's getting, I think, a little bit turned up nowadays with drinking their wine and mixing foods. And, you know, what suggestions for wines would you give for a red? I will ask you for a red and for a white when people are preparing like a steak or a fish. Like, what are some good pairings for, since people are at home and probably dabbling into cooking, what would be like, you know, some good pairings with foods?
Ooh, that's such a good question. So pairings are so fun and so fun to play with, to create an experience. Like you said, instead of just like lean into escape, lean into the experience while we're all home together. So steak is big and robust, right? And just succulent and juicy. So look for a big and robust and succulent and juicy wine. So like a Cabernet Sauvignon.
Did we just like take a left here and we're now going another interview? Succulent, juicy, robust. That's
wine sexy,
girl.
So it's really kind of fun to do like for like. So when you're pairing wine and food, do like for like. So like big juicy, or super lean and acidic, like a Sancerre white wine. Go with super lean and acidic type of foods, like a nice salad with a beautiful lemon, like acidic vinaigrette or something. So like for like is a really easy way to put it in your head and match both the weight of the wine and sort of like the acid quality of the wine, which we're gonna learn today.
Ooh, yes, we are looking forward to diving into that. And for someone like, say, you know, especially because people are in quarantine and they're dabbling into getting into wine and they've never had wine before, what would you say they should start, like a good starter wine?
Ooh, you know, it's kind of opposite to what you would think maybe, but you got to start with bubbles for me. Bubbles all the way. Like they're so accessible. You can do, and they're affordable if you want, like a Prosecco is an Italian bubble, right? And Cava is a Spanish bubble. Both of those are very affordable, and champagne, of course. I mean, if you want to go crazy and have a luxury, I'm saying champagne is the way to go. But equally, bubbles from other places are equally as exciting and interesting, and they come in all price ranges, and they go with everything. So I would say bubbles, because you can pair them with absolutely everything, including ice cream, dessert.
Oh yes, girl. Yes.
That's interesting, because you know I never would think that bubbles, you know, but I guess with people do bubbles for everything, like weddings, baby showers, and it can pretty much it goes with breakfast. You know, that's like one of the few things that you can have with breakfast that's not like, ooh, that doesn't really go together, or ooh, I'm starting my day off a little bit too strong.
It's so true. It goes with absolutely everything. And then it just elevates, and then you feel a little fancy. It's fun to feel fancy.
It's true.
I agree, especially in these times. It's good to like feel a little, you know, Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
you told me to prep. I have tea bags. I got lemons. I got, where's my white? I got white. I got red. Take us through this process.
Okay, awesome. So if you guys want to learn about wine, how to taste wine like a somm at home, here's your starter course. Basically, we're learning the components, which are the fundamentals of learning how to taste wine like a somm, right? And so take a white and a red wine. You can do affordable, easy, whatever you have in your house, just like that.
$6, baby. $6, Chuck.
So I'm watching you guys with my tea.
You can even do it with tea if you want it, because it's, you know what? You could even do the tannin with the tea. So you can totally join us on this. It's going to be perfect. So what we're going to do is so if you're starting from scratch and you happen to have 4 glasses, a white and a red. So I'm going to take these off. So then you would pour 4 glasses, 2 whites, 2 reds, okay? One is going to be your control wine, and one is going to be your doctor wine, because we're trying to learn how these 2 components, acid and tannin, feel in your mouth, okay? So we're going to do acid is represented by lemons, and tannin is represented by tea, which is perfect, Ariane. So basically, in your white wine, put a little acid, put a little lemon in it. Matt, you have the lemon, right?
Like a cube, or should I spritz it, or should I rip
Go
it in?
Go in there, get some juice. Like,
all right, should I taste it before? Because I only got 2 glasses, sis.
Oh yeah, yes, that's your control wine. Taste it before. You so know how to nail this. Okay,
I mean, I had 3 of them last night, but you know. Okay, so I'm gonna drop this baby in.
Drop it in and make sure you get some lemon squeeze in it, okay? So that you get the juice. All right, great. Now, when you taste this, tell me what you feel in your mouth as far as, right? What does that feel like?
Wait a minute, let me just.
He hasn't tried it. He's over there licking the lemon.
He's licking the lemon.
It's like a party on the roof of your mouth.
Ooh, I love that. I love that. And if you're feeling, do you feel like, ooh, yeah.
I feel ooey.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. And generally, one thing that acid will do is it makes your mouth saliva forward. Are you feeling like, ooh, I'm kind of like, I've got some saliva going. Do you feel that?
Do I need to? This is really going filthy real fast. Spit
I mean,
bucket. Let me have another wine.
All right. And think of like, are you salivating or is it drying out your mouth?
No, it's very moist.
That's it. Okay. So right there, that's what you nailed this. Right there.
Thanks, babe. I'm a professional.
That's right.
Wine tasting taken to the next level.
I know, right? This is getting out of control. After sipping the tea after dark.
Right.
So good. So acid makes your mouth salivate, and it creates saliva. So that's one way to know what acid feels like in wine. And when you taste the control versus the lemon wine, you know the difference in your mouth. All right, you guys ready for tannin?
Yes.
I'm ready. You can do this too, Ari. Get your tea bag ready.
The tea bag.
You've got your tea bag going on in. So if you have black tea, that's the best.
Let me sip this first.
There you go. Sip it.
All right, we're just smashing that in.
Smash it in. Yeah, smash it in.
Give it a whirl.
Give it a whirl. And that's been in there before, which is perfect. Ideally 10 minutes. And so you're just going to want the tannins of the tea bag to like leach out into the wine.
We are high budget television. Ready? Previously on Sippin' the Tea, this has been sitting here for 10 minutes.
Exactly. Now, taste your tea and your wine with the tea bags and tell me what you taste. And where do you feel it in your mouth? Is it drying? Is it salivating? It's not really flavor.
Well, you're not a big drinker of red wine though, Matt. Like, you're more of a white wine. His favorite is Sauvignon Blanc, New Zealand.
It tastes a little dryish, to be frank.
It's
like the other one felt like it was like a beautiful waterfall, and this feels like, yeah, I'm not loving it, but it does. I feel that there's a stark difference. The other one felt like it just opened up like I would be litty after popping. This, yeah, let me. It doesn't have that sensation that the white had either. It doesn't have like yeah, it just feels like, yeah.
It's not doing it for you.
No,
Yeah.
girl.
Right. It's not supposed to do it for you. So that is so perfect, Matt. You so nailed
When you're
that.
putting things in your mouth, honey, if they're not doing shit for you, then what the hell are you putting shit in your mouth for?
Oh.
Yes. Then. So you really nailed that. You nailed that exercise perfectly. So the exaggerated component with the lemon juice and the salivating forward, and then the tea bags, it's like drying. It's like you have cotton balls in your mouth. And you can feel it like right around here, and it's like, that's how it feels. So now when you taste different wines, you start to recognize, oh, that's acid if I'm salivating. And
Now I gotcha.
Oh, got it now.
So now you guys can taste like a som, and you can literally know the difference between acid and tannin, which is really the basic thing of learning how to taste wine. You guys have got it now.
So wait, just so I'm clear. So we want it to always have like an acid taste.
Well, okay, here's a great, amazing question. Basically, all wines are going to be balanced, hopefully, if they're made well. And so that they have, white wines usually don't have tannin, but red wines have both acid and tannin. Okay. White wine has mostly acid. So you're always going to want it to be balanced. But this is kind of a big red wine question because you want the acid and the tannin to sort of feel right and delicious and balanced. But the interesting thing about being able to decipher wine when you really try to understand the varietals that you like say Sauvignon Blanc. With Sauvignon Blanc, you can learn and taste which are more acidic and which are less acidic. And it's really a tool to be like, oh, I love really acidic wines or less acidic wines, or I like really tannic reds or less tannic reds. So they're all going to be in everything, but it's a tool to learn what you like once you can know how it feels in your mouth.
So I have a question for you because my favorite is Pinot Noir. I love Pinot Noir. So would you say for a Pinot, where does that lie in the realms of like, if is it more acidity? Am I saying that word?
You're saying it perfect. You're saying it. You are saying it so perfectly. You know, and every wine and every winemaker can make wine a little different. So I would say that Pinot Noir in general, it's a thin-skinned grape, so it's going to have like a little translucent. You're going to be able to see your fingers through it, and it's going to have a little bit more mellow tannins, and it's kind of like a little medium on the tannin and the acid. It's my favorite wine too. I'm so in love with Pinot Noir. It's so amazingly delicious.
It's so
good.
But
like a really tannic wine would be like a Cabernet Sauvignon. You know, can you think of those like really bold, luscious Zinfandels, red Zinfandel? Compare that to Pinot Noir. It's like your tannins are going to be a little different, and they're both amazing. It's just what do you like, kind of thing. So you might like medium tannin.
I mean, I also like a red blend too.
Look at this. We're learning such like, we can go to a restaurant now and be like, girl, I need some, I need to make sure it's got some good acidity to it. Let's look at the notes inside it, So yes. I want to give people a little rundown of the Som School Insider, where they can watch it, and that whole, what are we watching and what's the journey?
Okay, awesome. So Som School Insider is a 7-episode series following my journey inside the Sommeliers Society of America, which is the oldest Som School in the country, which is really cool. And what's so amazing about this series is we wanted to turn wine into something really fun and really accessible. So we do blindfolds, we do wine games, we do like wine tastings, and every episode is under 10 minutes. So usually between 5 and 8 minutes. So, and one of our viewers was like, I learned more in 12 minutes than a whole, 3 books that I read about wine. So we follow my actual instructors in real time with my actual lessons and learn to see if I become a som, who knows. And so we really teach you the fundamentals of becoming a som in a fun, light, accessible, gamey, fun way.
Wow.
And you can get it. Yeah. So it's just about having so much fun with wine, not taking it too seriously, learning some of these really cool som fundamentals, but in a fun, easy way that you guys just learned how to tell the difference between tannin and acid. Almost everyone, that's a really hard thing.
It's lunchtime here and I'm getting lit, so cheers, bitches.
on wineforfood.com, wineforfood.com, and on Binge. And
Family.
Yes.
Binge Family. And then it's coming on Roku as well. So exciting.
Nice. And then, you know, for people to follow you and like your personal journey, where can everybody follow you at?
Thanks. It's at Carole, Carole .mac, M-A-C. At Carole.mac on Insta. And you'll see it all.
And where can everybody follow you, Matthew?
I don't remember. Matt Dillon, 1983.
And you guys can follow me across the board at Ariane Andrew as a Sippin too.
Yes.
Well, guys,
Thank you.
it has been so much fun. I guess until next time of sipping the wine, tea.
I'm just gonna pass out.
We will catch you guys next time on a special edition of Quarantine.
Cheers, Carole. Thank you, babe.
Cheers, you guys. This has been such a joy. I loved every minute. Thank you.